Yeah, it's like a theremin. Get even closer. Yeah!
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's a good one. Those berries are really spreading that signal out. And then try to touch just one of those berries, move towards it slowly, and then touch the berry. Wow, cool.
So you can just send a number between.
It's ADC touch _ basic 2 button servo out. That's not working. And then we plug it into the plants, so we can hear what tone.
Ah, so you're getting just the plant. Yeah.
I love that. We can try different plants and get different tones.
It sings to us.
Oh.
I want to communicate with them.
Wait, the light doesn't go on.
I know, I saw it. I was making it do Morse code at us.
Wait, okay, let's figure out which ones do light is plugged in.
Oh, is it because I'm squeezing it?
Yeah, like. Wait, maybe we should try to recalibrate it.
Yeah.
Like, why doesn't it continue spinning?
Oh yeah, like is there like a
0, 1.
oh.
Like, can we.
What's going on? I don't know. Really get nothing here.
Aw.
Okay. The cactus is. Okay. Maybe a spike. Let's see if the cactus spike. I feel like the cactus is already so happy.
Exactly.
Any happier.
Oh, cool. This your map?
Yeah. So we land, and the ones that are like in the water, depending on whether they're actually touching the water or not, react differently. And so we did like the ones that are touching the water versus just standing up, with whether or not it made noise when you touched near them.
Cool.
Like.
Cool.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you find out how much that laptop matters too.
What about these? These are like real woody. Like it or not. There was no pattern. We were really trying to figure out a pattern of what kind of plants would and wouldn't like it. Like I wasn't expecting this to like it, but it does.
How do you know if it likes it?
It's saying.
Oh.
Yeah. There were some plants that like the live part liked it and the dead part like didn't care. And then there are some plants that holding hands with holly just appeal to all generations. Like the baby parts and like the medium age parts and the dead parts. So that was fun.
Queen Artemisia perched up on her, scaffold, and she rules this plant kingdom, right? So animals come by and sometimes they want to like rip off the leaves or like eat them. So wait, should we count it? Okay, so she's an animal. And then it's like, no! Don't hurt my plant. It's working really well out of here. Yeah. So she does like a very vigorous like nod. No. And then if like a plant brushes it or like something else like friendly, she doesn't really mind. Yeah, that's kind of it. Still powerful on her own.
What did you learn?
Depending on the pressure that you use, it's like 180. This is like a little shake.
In their homes and in other human spaces, but we wanted plants to be, animals to be able to play the piano as well. And so naturally we decided to build it out of plants. So what happens is, depending on which leaf is getting the most input, it plays that note.
So what about you? Different explorations. Was this the leaf you just started with, or like did you?
With different, whether it would make noise under different circumstances. And so we picked this one plant in particular that has really long, like sort of cylindrical stems that grows right by Fake Lake. And so we have some watercolors of it. And it was really interesting when it was touching water. If the leaf was sort of bent over so that it was touching the water, it would, and you clipped it to the part that was out of the water. Didn't try clipping it to in the water just because we didn't want to get anything wet. It didn't react to touch. But then when it was clipped to the regular stems, even if their bases were in the water, it still reacted to touch. And then in contrast with the plant that was on dry ground, it had the same reaction like if it was just a regular stem. If it was touching the ground though, it still made noise, even though it was connected to the ground. And we also played with some of the stems being dead, and found sort of like the last point in the somewhat green, somewhat yellow stem that would make noise when touched.
Yeah, it was like a green stem and then the end was dead, and then there's this nice gradient of like, you could like test specifically at what point, like at what specific distance does it like lose the ability to like have a signal, which was cool.
And we didn't have time to make a watercolor of it because we ran out of time.
We had these little red berries on a tree, so the first thing we tested was just clipping to like the stem near the berries, and that was kind of like what you just expected, like one of the regular plants with the leaves. Then we clipped it onto a berry, and then after resetting it, it's like very, very sensitive, so you don't even have to touch it. You can just like, you can hear it like be like a fainter sound and then get louder as you get closer to the berry. And that was pretty cool. You also don't have to touch the berries like super hard to make them make sound, because it's already like, it was cool, yeah.
When we connected it to, because we had like essentially this like larger branch. Oh, do you have a picture? A sketch, but like this like larger branch, and we connected it to like one of the like almost like T-joints that was like there, like a small thing. Connected it to there, and then kind of played with like the distance you would need to be for it to make a sound. It didn't necessarily vary by distance, but also like another variable which you guys talked about was like the deadness of the plant, like because it's a pile of dead branches, the parts of like that were still a little more moist or wet, like with like near this like base of the stem, versus at the like brancher part, like the branching parts with the leaves, like you had to be really close for it to detect any touch, but for the stem you could go all the way down almost and it'll detect it. So it was kind of like playing with that and the different sounds and pitches as well. We also had like the cool thing with the computer. That wasn't like a main focus of what we did over there, but if we...
Yeah, it was like if we touched it, or if we connected it to a leaf and then
initialized it like not touching anything, it would have this kind of like constant like beeping noise, and then if we touched the leaf it would go to a higher pitch, and if we touched the computer it would go to like a lower pitch. So that was kind of cool. It kind of sounded like bagpipes.
Yeah. We couldn't like always replicate it though. Sometimes it happened and sometimes it didn't.
Sure. Well, we first got interested in changing the pitches when we heard what they were doing or saw what they were doing, and it was a real struggle to do that at first, and then we just messed around with that and we made a cacophony of unpleasant sound. And it kind of changes if you touch this, but not really. So yeah, it was more technological than anything, and yeah. What was that?
Both on the same.
What's the LED doing?
They had a male to female cable, and so they needed something to make the metal pop out so they could make contact with it. If it started lighting up too, then we'd be in trouble.
If we had more time, I'm sure we would have tried to make something more pleasantly sounding acoustically. But we learned.
Okay.
A stick with a leaf attached to it, so then when you shook the plant's hand, it would like wave at you with the flag.
Is it live? Should we try it out?
No, it's
Oh,
not.
okay.
Because then we left and we found this little plant that was like red with little white dots and reminded us of Christmas. So we had a green and a red LED, and we hooked it up so like you touch the plant and it would light up green and red, and then we sang "Oh Christmas Tree" as part of our ritual. And yeah, we just enjoyed the visual aspect of it. Yeah, so those are the two things we worked with.
Can we see your Christmas tree? Is it up?
I think we dropped the LED.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we'll find them on our way out and pick them up. But we like arrived here and we're like, oh, there's nothing attached to these. Yeah. But we'll get them.
That's a tricky part about hacking in the wild is little components are very small. Often